Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. This is the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube, and this here is chapstick. This is candy cane flavored. I randomly picked it, and I will be using it for all of my videos today. The Crazy Troll Nation, what is that? And what's with the troll business? The crazy is just enjoying doing videos if you do them, and whether you do videos or not, just enjoying your time on YouTube, enjoying whoever it is you watch, whether it's for the content, something particular you want to learn, or just their personality. In my case, wacky at times. It is true. I know it, and it's okay. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique or even buy particular skincare. Use whatever you want to use, whatever your skin likes, and just rock it. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we are about self-acceptance and self-love. Embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. I do curse in my videos sometimes because I do curse in real life sometimes. Thank you for being here. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, y'all my Trollkin fam, how y'all doing today? I appreciate each and every one of you who chose to click on this video today, tonight, this evening, whatever day it is, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you for being here. This video, today is June 13th, and I realized I didn't do a 2-month update from my Botox treatment that I did receive for migraine prevention and treatment. I will link both of those videos down below. I think I might just put them in a playlist, even though it's only going to be a handful of videos. So where did I leave off? Because I don't want to repeat too much of what I talked about for the first month update. I believe I had 2 migraine days the first month after treatment. Well, the first month of treatment, because the treatment was April 3rd. And I do remember, so much for not repeating myself, I do remember saying I felt the throbbing, because it happens behind this eye, my left eye. And I felt the throbbing start, and then it stopped, and that had never happened before. And I remember in that video, I was like so excited because I've never had a migraine start and then it just stopped. And even if I take the migraine medication, it still ebbs and flows. It doesn't really take it away unless I just lay down and go to sleep and then, let the migraine med knock me out for 2 or 3 hours. And then when I wake up, I'm fine. But then sometimes the migraine would still reform and come back later. And so my migraines are seldom just one day. It'll ebb and flow over 2 to 6 days. Seriously, it's awful. And so the first month of treatment, I believe it was just 2 migraine days and a couple days where it started to form and then it dissipated. And the second month, which would be May, I thought I was going to die. I thought my head was going to explode, because I had forgotten what it felt like to have migraines. Because just having 2 after the treatment, my typical migraine days per month were between 8 and 12 days a month that I would have migraines, or it would ebb and flow over the course of, 2 to 6 days, or, 2 to 3 days or whatever. But counting just the days, I was having between 8 and 12, and probably closer to 12 migraines per month. And in May, I did have more migraines than in April. I believe I had, I want to say 5 or 6. And I do keep track, and I should have looked before I did this video, right? Yeah, troll, that would have been the smart thing to do. And it ebbed and flowed over, those 5 or 6 days. And I had forgotten what it felt like. And I thought my head was going to explode. I thought this eye was just going to pop out of my head. And I was just going to have to get a patch to wear so I wouldn't walk around just with my open eye socket showing. That's how bad it was. It was horrible. And also there was nauseousness. Sometimes I get nauseous with migraines and sometimes I don't. For me, it's more so light and sound, which is a good thing in a way, because I watch a lot of horror movies and sci-fi, and usually it's dim light. You can barely see what's going on, and then just turn the volume down real low, can barely hear it. And so I'm just kind of like vegging out, in dim light with very low sound, not really going anywhere when I walk, it feels like, my head is just wanting to just like fall off my neck because of just the pressure. And so when I would turn, I have to turn real slow, because if I just turn my head, it's just like, it feels like my brain is shifting, and it was just horrible. And that's when I realized how used to not having migraines I had gotten, because I was used to, as I said, 8 to 12 migraine days a month. So it was just like, oh, here's another migraine. Let me just push through it, take the meds, drink, Mountain Dew for the caffeine, and just function as well as I can. And when it would ebb, that's when I would do stuff, balance my checkbook, go to the post office, do videos. And then when it would come back full force, that's when I'm just laid out, on the sofa, or I'm taking another migraine med and getting into bed. So I have forgotten about all of that. And I thought I was going to die. I thought my head was going to explode. And by the 4th day, I was thinking, I need to contact the neurologist and be like, can you reschedule my appointment for earlier? Because we scheduled the second appointment for 3 months. And as I said, today is June 13th. That appointment is, I think, the second week in July. But I was really thinking, I need to message him and say, can you see me like tomorrow? Because it was just unbearable. And then it made me think like, wow, I've been enduring this like all these years. I'm 53 now. I know, right? I look good. All I have on is skincare and chapstick. Thank you. I know, right? And I started getting migraines when I was 33. So I've been dealing with migraines for 20 years. So it was just another thing that I dealt with, another part of my life. No big deal. It just happens. I'm a disabled veteran if you're new here. So I deal with chronic joint pain, fibromyalgia. I have different sensitivities and allergies and all sorts of things. And so it was just something else that I dealt with, when it popped up. And, so dealing with migraines that often for 20 years, literally, I was 33 when they started, now I'm 53. So literally dealing with migraines for 20 years, it was just like, okay, this is just something else to deal with today and the next few days or the next week or whatever. And so not having them, only having 2 for April, when I had the run of 5 or 6 days in May, I was just like, okay, what the fuck is this? Like, wait a minute, hold up. And that's when I realized, too, that the Botox was working. I had text, I think it was Shawnee, and she was like, oh my gosh, I hope you feel better. Because I mentioned it in a video that I was, my migraine had ebbed enough for me to do a video because the bright lights and stuff is just like, okay, this isn't good. But let me just push through it because I don't want to be completely non-functional, even though I should be. Priorities, right, when you do YouTube videos. And a lot of you were well, actually all of you are like very caring in the comments. I hope it feels better. And by the time it airs, it's gone because I do pre-film. But when I sat and thought, I'm like, wait a minute, I only had 2 last month and I had 5 or 6 this month. And I'm like, so it is still working because it's not my 6 to 12. You know what I mean? And so it is decreasing the amount of migraines, the migraine days, because as I said, they last for days sometimes. But I also realized it is wearing off. And the neurologist did say it usually takes 2 to 3 treatments before the person just doesn't get any, or it's just like 1 or 2 days a month or something like that they have migraines. I'm hoping for the none ever again after the second treatment. If I need a 3rd one, so be it. If I need a 4th one, another 3 months after that, so be it. Because I realized how much of my life I got back. You know what I mean? And I didn't realize I was missing it. Because when you deal with pain, physical pain, and it's, just other stuff, it's a part of your life. And you forget what life was like before all of that stuff started happening. And if you deal with chronic joint pain, or if you have a disability that you weren't born with, something that happened and it just wrecked your system, I think you can relate to what I'm saying. Like for me, I'll speak for me. Like I have forgotten what life was like without having 12 migraine days a month, up to 12 migraine days a month, and sometimes even more. So we're talking about half a month here where I'm just like out of my mind, either with the pain and the loopiness from the migraine meds and trying to be functional. But yeah, so that's just my update. So it is working. I can tell it's wearing off, and I am going to mention it to the neurologist and see what he says. And I do really believe I will ask him for a third appointment, because, you know, 2 days 1 month and then like 5 or 6 the next month, I want them to just be gone. I want them to just be gone. And it's I don't want to be dramatic and say it's life-changing, but in a way it really kind of is. As I said, when you're used to dealing with something that's not good, and then when it's gone, and then when it comes back, it's just like, wait a minute, no. And then it's like, wait a minute, I've been dealing with this 20 years? Why am I freaking out now like I'm gonna die? Like, I was really feeling like my head was going to explode, because I had forgotten what it felt like. But it is working. It is wearing off. My appointment is the 2nd week of July, I believe. And I don't know. I am still considering, I don't think I'm going to do it though, but I don't know. I'm considering like my crow's feet, but then part of me doesn't want to, because that'll wear off too. Just like it's already wearing off for migraines, and it's only been 2 months, 2.5 at this point, because I forgot I needed to do this 2-month update video. But so even if they inject something here, like how far over will it go? Like, will it deal with these, why this is a bag, but you know, will it deal with these wrinkles too? Like, where do they inject it? But then I'm thinking not to, because it's going to wear off anyway, and I'm going to be right back where I am now with all my wonderful 53 years of wrinkles, which I do embrace, because self-acceptance and self-love. I earned every wrinkle. I've earned every, well, I don't have any scars. Well, yeah, because I picked wearing a mask and it was rubbing my face. So I had 2 bumps there, and I'm a picker. If something isn't smooth, I automatically just dig it out. My mom is the same way. I noticed that with her. But if something's not smooth, I'm like, get it off. And so I don't have a lot going on, you know, just the discoloration, which, you know, just hydration and eye cream, eye serums, and this was a bump from a mask too. But yeah, so my skin is good. I don't even know why we're talking about skin. Oh, because I was talking about the under eye stuff. Y'all, I be digressing like crazy. As you see, welcome if you're new here. I'm kind of always this way, just so you know, if you're new here. Like, seriously, I am. Yeah, so I'm curious, but then I'm not. And as far as my forehead wrinkles, I can see a few lines coming back, and I realized these were here from doing videos, because I raised my brows to do my eyeshadow. But I do see some of the wrinkles coming back, which is not a big deal. They're not super noticeable, and even if they were, like, I don't care. It's me, it's my face. This right here, this line is starting to come back. If you look back before April 3rd, when I would frown, a line, and you can see it here, this line right here was more prominent. And I remember it was a fat pocket, like right here, and I would be like, look at this fat pocket, and you can see it in here, like just a fat pocket. Like, if I went like this, it would puff up right here. So that hasn't come back yet, but it will. Well, maybe after my whenever the last treatment is. But I do notice this line right here coming back, and it wasn't bothersome to me, because I used to always be like, oh, look at my little fat pocket. So it's just like, you know, I just make fun of it. It's my face. It's what it is. And so that'll be it for this video. I apologize for those tangents. But yes, the Botox is working for migraine prevention and treatment. Yes, it is also wearing off. And he did tell me up front, most people it takes 2 to 3 treatments. But it was just a shock when I had that run of migraines, and I was, whew. So I am looking forward to the next treatment. It is, I think, going to be as intense as the first one. However, I know what to expect now. And if you haven't watched the first video, I'll link that. If I remember, I'll put it in as a pinned comment, but I will definitely have it linked in the description box, because I talked about the process. When I came home from that appointment, I clicked on my phone and did the video. It was intense. So I know what to expect now, but I'm still just like, who wants all them needles in their face and their scalp and neck? And But you know what though? I would rather do that for 20 minutes out of one day to only have 2 migraines per month, because the migraines are so much worse than the procedure was. And however many I need to go every 3 months or whatever, I'll be like, yo, dude, yeah, it's that time. Yeah, I had 6 migraines this month. I want to decrease them. The first month I only had 2, so I know we can get lower than 6. And so let's shoot for that. Shoot for none, actually. But yeah, so that'll just be it for this video. I am excited that it's working, and I'm glad to do these videos, because we hear of Botox just for cosmetic reasons. We don't hear about it for actual treatment and prevention, for medical things, other than, you know, you have wrinkles or whatever it is. But for migraines, quite a few of you have commented you deal with migraines too. And if you're not hesitant about having something injected into your body, I would recommend it. And I say it that way because there's some medications I'm allergic to, and I'm just like, okay, put that on a list where if I'm incapacitated, do not give me that, because I have had bad reactions to quite a few medications. And so I can relate to the feeling of, I don't want anybody injecting this substance in my system, because I don't know what it's going to do to my system. And so it was chancy for me to do it, and I'm glad I did not have a bad reaction to it. I am glad that it's working. And so if you do deal with migraines and you feel like your system can handle it, I do recommend it as a consideration for an option for migraine prevention and treatment. So I'm not going to say, yes, go out and do it, but just really think about it and consider. And again, also consider your overall health. If you have a lot of allergies like I do, and a lot of sensitivities like I do, and, you know, being concerned about different medications, you know, that's something to be taken seriously, because you don't know how it's going to affect you until after you do it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, my doctor will, you know, recommend the medication. I'm like, I'm not taking it. I'm like, nope, because that last one you gave me, I had a really bad reaction. I'm not trying anything new for at least another 3 years. Like, I'm just not, because it's not worth it to me to take something to help me and then it hurts me, or not hurt me physically, but I have a bad reaction to it, an allergic reaction to it, because then you just have to wait until it works its way out of your system. So you're just kind of stuck dealing with whatever it is. And it's not good. But such is life when you deal with different challenges in your body. Thank you for being here. I'm just really rambling now. Thank you for being here. Let me know if these updates are helpful to you. Let me know if they're interesting to you, because they're interesting to me. I mean, because I haven't heard many people speak of, actually none, except the commercials. And of course, it's like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like, well, what about real people, everyday people, trolls like me? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying there aren't people out there talking about it. I just haven't seen any. So let me know if this was helpful to you. If you know somebody who deals with migraines, or if you deal with migraines, like, what are your thoughts about Botox treatment for that and prevention for migraines? And yeah, let me know if this was interesting either way. And also, if you would like me to continue doing updates, you know, let me know that too. I would be more than glad to do that, because again, I do think it's something that people need to talk about. So as always, self-acceptance, self-love, that is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.